I would love for you, Ellen, to introduce yourself. Tell us about your organization and what you're doing at the B2B Expo this week.
Thanks, Meredith. I'm so happy to be here. I am an executive coach. It's branded under my own name, Robinson Coaching Group. One of the reasons I have it under my name and not under a framework is because I really curate and customize all of my leadership development, team development work. And so I've been at it for 15 years. That's what I do. I coach leaders and I help them accelerate their maturation as a leader. Really help them move from what I call skill-centric, really good at what they were doing, subject matter expertise, into the abstraction of leadership, which is a whole different function, as many experience when they are making that move.
That's amazing. I love what you were saying about the way that you approach this executive coaching frame, like that it's bespoke, essentially.
Entirely bespoke.
There's so many templates and frameworks in this. And so could you share a little bit more about that? Because I think it's so important.
Absolutely. One of my underlying theory bases is what's called adult development, which is the adult to childhood development. So we all develop linearly, quite frankly, or we don't, or we stop. Right. And so I meet people where they are because I can make an assessment of their development. And then I know, why is it that their communication isn't what it is? And a lot has to do with that's why I use the word maturity, their maturation as a human, which is correlated to their maturation as a leader. So I use a range of frameworks because I meet people at all different points in their own development.
Yeah. We hear the language a lot of meet them where they are, but you really have a way to identify the specific thing that's going to be the best place to start with that.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. There's clearly skills that everybody needs if you don't have them. But your ability to step into those, being willing to take the risk with those skills often has to do with, again, where you are in your own development.
Yeah.
And I work a lot on what holds people back. So strengths are important. You want to rely on them, but they will keep you in a strengths box if you really don't develop areas that still need development.
Yeah. Is that part of what you're sharing in your talk at the expo, or are you sharing a little bit of that approach, or what are you planning to share during your talk?
25 minutes, you can't get a lot done.
It's a short window of time, right?
No, I picked something very important. A lot of my clients are coming to me recently with burnout issues. And clearly there are things for them to consider as a leader that may alleviate some of the time pressures, like, are you delegating well? Are you prioritizing well? Are you creating action in a way where it comes back as you want it, not as somebody may have not read your mind correctly? So are you clear versus vague? That's all really important. I could spend a whole half day working on those sorts of things. So given that, let's say you're really good at that, there is still so much stress, low-key stress, that if it's not alleviated, if it's not closed out, as the stress cycle goes, it will eventually can lead to burnout because you're just all stressed all the time. The cortisol is running. So I've chosen to talk about how to close out stress cycles with using moments of creativity. So I have this book that was hugely impactful for my own burnout a dozen or 20 years ago. And when we close out stress by doing something without purpose, without outcome, a way to express ourselves in our own desires, even though they didn't get heard in a meeting.
Yeah.
We can just jot them down for ourselves. Simple as that.
Oh, it's one thing.
It kind of opens up our perspective again.
Yes.
And if we can open up our perspective, it can really close out a stress cycle so that it doesn't build up over time into burnout. I'm not saying it's a cure-all, but it's definitely worth trying.
And I think it's such a timely thing to be talking about because burnout it's pervasive. With everything that we're facing right now, just around information flying at us so fast and so fiercely, and so much of it. And I can only imagine, I can't imagine anyone not benefiting from having some of that conversation.
Oh, thank you. I tend to agree. I mean, you look at this show. Yeah, there's so many things that weren't here 2 years ago.
Yes.
And these are very small entrepreneurs trying to take it all in and figure out how it fits and what it fits and the money behind it all. And so much pressure and stress.
Yeah.
And that's only at this level. Of course, the clients I work with have bigger businesses than those here typically. And it's still, there's so much change, so much progress, but it's very hard to stay with the progress as opposed to letting it wash over you.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you mentioned what you've seen or who you've seen in the halls these last couple of days. What's been the thing that you've maybe been most impressed by, or the thing that you were surprised to see just being here? What's been the thing that's really stuck with you?
It's a little bit of very interesting about the attendees, and I've really enjoyed talking to the other exhibitors. We are all grinding it out. It is tough to be an entrepreneur. And you might do what you love. I love to coach. I am here only so that I can coach more. Because if I can have more clients, then I can coach more. I can help more people. I can have more impact on their dent in the world, which is always from such a passion place. And so it's been as much empathy and feeling everybody else's spirit in this as anything else.
That's wonderful. You mentioned that you've been doing this particular type of coaching for 15 years, I think is what you shared. What were you doing before? What was the coaching and that made you make that switch?
And I do talk a little bit about that in my presentation. I was a brand manager of Frito-Lay. I was a general manager of Pepsi Company. I ran a 24/7 manufacturing and distribution operation. High stress. Learned a lot. Great. Pepsi was a really great leadership training ground. From there, I went on to run the Denver Nuggets and the Colorado Avalanche. So the Denver base, which is where I'm from, where I live now, NBA and NHL teams. I did all the business operations alongside the general managers who, of course, ran the teams. And then from there, I did a SaaS startup. As SaaS was starting to get going, I raised money. I went from a P&L to a term sheet, and all stress.
Yes.
And I burnt out. I had a young family through that. And I got fried, absolutely fried. I was looking out the window on a Saturday one day, tweaking my business plan and my business model, getting ready to raise some more money. And I'm like, what? I just lost all my energy and all of my interests. So I had to So a few years later, I had my energy back. I had what I call my mojo, but I didn't want to get back into that sort of cycle. So I needed to find something that I could count on myself for, bet on myself. I had a fantastic business network that I had built in Colorado. And I had been coached a long, long time ago at Pepsi. I didn't want to be a consultant. I didn't want to be an expert. I wanted to be a curator of growth.
Oh, a curator. I love that. I love that word. I
went to coaching schools. I have bona fide creds. It was brand new to me. I went from being at the top of my game to a beginner. I had never sat knee to knee to somebody. I had always sat behind the desk bossing somebody.
Sure.
And I could have done it a whole lot better had I had me to coach.
If only I could go back and spend time with past self.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And so and now I feel I'm so in flow. I love what I do. I not only curated, but I built up my own DNA around all the subjects and topics. And I really feel the bespokeness sets me apart along with my background. I came from the leadership seat. And here I am.
And you've lived the experience that you're helping solve in a very real way.
You're absolutely.
And you have that relatability to what they're going through that in many cases, sometimes that's missing, is the relatability factor of the problem that a coach might be trying to help you solve. And so I think you have this incredible marriage of you've done it, you've seen it, you've lived it. It was your reality.
I messed it up.
And current you wasn't there.
Yes,
it didn't exist. And now you've been able to create that for
When I went to coaching school, I had no idea what I didn't know. And now I do, and it amazes me, and I'm fascinated by it. And so I know I'm not burnt out because I love reading more about it. I love curating more. I love every new client that comes to me to learn learn from them, and then offer
back to you.
Totally. Yes.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm so inspired. I just love hearing the evolution, right? Because it can be, I think a lot of people live that previous definition of your life and feel that they're stuck in it and that there isn't a way to overcome that. And you are the answer to that. You're their way to get out of those scenarios in a way that I haven't really heard a lot of people talk about. So I love it. I think it's wonderful. And I so appreciate you sharing it with us.
You got to put yourself out there, right?
Yeah, exactly. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of the expo. I can't wait to hear your talk. I have the privilege of sitting like right there, so I get to hear it. And I just hope that you have a great rest of the expo. And I'm glad that you were able to stop by and chat with us.
Well, thank you for having me.